Hi, my name is Carla, and this is my video response to the first assignment. So, we are not supposed to read our answers, so I'm going to try to talk through them. The first question was, what was the purpose of the Movement Summit? And I described the identity principle of the APTA vision. So, the first thing I did was think about the main thing that happened at the summit was that they assembled a panel of 100 physical therapy experts to make a decision building on the ATPA's new vision statement goal of defining movement systems. So that happened in 2013 that they adopted a new vision that was transforming society by optimizing movement to improve the human experience. So out of that, their main goal was building on the identity of a physical therapist. And in order to build on the movement system and the identity, what they were doing at this summit is they wanted to integrate these ideas into the realms of practice, education, and research. So the movement system idea is that the physical therapist needed like a framework, um, actual anatomical descriptions of their physiological structures and the interrelated functions of human movement that could be described as a system and then put it into those realms. So that's kind of what they were establishing at this summit. Question number two, how do physical therapists fit into the movement system? Um, there was three ways that I found that physical therapists could fit into the new movement system. The first was that PTs provide a unique perspective on purposeful, precise, and efficient movement across the lifespan based upon their synthesis of the distinctive knowledge of the movement system and expertise in mobility and locomotion. So, to me, that's building on that idea of identity. We really want to be um, not known just for what we do, but what we know as physical therapists. So, that would be more building on this knowledge um, idea. So another way that physical therapists fit into this new system, number two, was physical therapists examine and evaluate the movement system, including diagnosis and prognosis, to provide a customized and integrated plan of care to achieve the individual's goal-directed outcomes. So that would be really implementing the idea of movement system into clinical practice. So that was one of the goals that they had worked out at the summit. And the third way was that physical therapists maximize an individual's ability to engage with and respond to his or her environment using movement related interventions to optimize functional capacity and performance. So, this was really when they were using it in treatment of the dysfunction and making the most of function, um, really using our knowledge and our identity with these movement systems to do the most good with our outcomes. Um, Number three was, if all physical therapists were movement system experts and the public, our colleagues, and all other stakeholders recognized us that way, what positive changes would we see in the profession of physical therapy? Um, I found the answer to this question most clearly in the APTA resource, the white paper. And that is where I got my quote that I said earlier of PTs are too often identified by what we do and not what we know. So if we were to be recognized for those things that we know, um, first of all, it would make great positive changes to through clinical reasoning and practice from having this distinct body of knowledge. It would build on our identity and using us as a resource. And I get to later that we would be able to get more innovation and research going because we would establish this like framework as our baseline and we'd be building on that. And when research and innovation increases, that circles back and makes our outcomes even better because we're allowed to use that then in clinical practice. So it would just be like a feed forward positive system. Um, that would be a great positive change. Question number four, how do you see the patient client management model interfacing with the movement system? For this question, I put that I thought they integrated together really well, and that it would really enhance the patient-client management care model. And one of the reasons why is because by having that expertise in the movement system, we would be more sought after and recognized for what our knowledge base is, which would feed into the patient-client management care model back up at the examination level and then the evaluation level, more diagnoses, and then providing better and more numerous interventions and outcomes for even more of the population. So I wrote that our interventions would be even pushed by this research, and due to the interventions improving, our outcomes would also improve. I definitely see the movement system and the patient client management care model interfacing together. The last question, what are the essential activities that should be a part of the standard movement analysis? For this one, I used the patient therapy guide 3.0 online, and in the guide for PT practice, it said that a movement system should have lots of essential activities, such as those listed under examination and evaluation focused on tests and measures. So I kind of picked off that list just on ones that I thought would be like really critical in thinking about those whole physiological systems, such as circulation, arterial, venous, lymphatic, assistive technologies, ventilation and respiration, self-care and domestic life, and posture, because those are all physiological systems, part of the movement systems that um, would, if we added them to the standard movement analysis, could make a big difference. When we use all these holistic movement analysis components as a baseline, we'd be using that approach. So that was my assignment. Thank you.